Okay, so we're going to discuss a little bit about the admin tab. So that is comprised of two main sections, earnings and documents. Now, earnings is pretty straightforward. It gives you either a monthly or a weekly breakdown of your earnings. The only kind of caveat I want to just highlight is boarding events. So there's a bit of paragraph at the bottom explaining it, but just to go through it in the video, if a boarding event, for example, started at the end of January and it rolled over into the beginning of February, then the earnings from that boarding event would be marked in January and not February. Okay, so just bear that in mind when you're balancing the books. So next, we're going to discuss the document store. So pretty straightforward. It's just a PDF document store that you can assign your documents, like your terms and conditions, and then there's the option there to send it to your clients. Okay, so let's just go ahead and add a document. We'll give it a title. So I'm going to go new client, and I'm going to select my document. So again, just be wary that it needs to be a PDF file. And if you get an error message about the PDF file size, you can always just go online and find a PDF compressor to reduce the file size, because you've got to remember this is going to be sent via an email, so it's good to make sure that the file size is as small as possible. Alright, so when you upload your PDF, you'll get a little preview at the bottom. As you can see here, I've just got a simple PDF. It's just a lot of like random text to demonstrate a PDF. I'm just going to, for example's sake, assign autumn to a document and explain what that does in a minute. Okay, so we've done a title, we've uploaded a document, and we'll just click OK. So we'll see here we've been taken back to the Documents tab. You can see our new client document, you can see the PDF name and the assigned dogs. So there's a couple of options here. So if you click the arrow, for example, this will bring up a list of your clients and it will allow you to send to your client. So again, similar to what Invoicing PDF does, I can't show it here because I'm using a simulator rather than a real device. But what would happen is you would just select your owner, the client that you want to send the document to, and DiggDawg will compose an email in your default mailing app like Gmail or Apple Mail or whatever, and then you just click send, and it's as easy as that. Okay. So the second icon is just a preview of the PDF, just for reference sake, so you can have a quick look at. And finally, the bin icon is just for removing that PDF if you want to. Okay, so I just want to quickly show you what happens when you assign a document to a dog. So for example, we've assigned this PDF to Autumn. So let's go into the boarding event we've previously created for Autumn. Okay, and then click on the additional tab. And then what you'll see here is that any assigned documents will show up in a boarding event just purely for reference sake, because I have had a few users who are specifically boarders, and they've wanted to have things like Kennelcough PDFs and certificates that are assigned to the boarding event just for reference sake. So just bear that in mind, that when you assign a PDF document to a dog, it will show up in boarding events under the additional tab.